Oh, yay. Okay, recording. Okay, so we have Jaden, Kendall, Tyler, and Will, and I'm sure Vero will probably pop in here in a minute. But one thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the first section of our interim test. I'm not going to do the entire test today. We'll do the second half next week because I don't want your brains to explode. So we'll just do 1 through 10 today. And then you guys have been working on just division and 2 by 2 division, basically. So at the end of class, if we have some extra time, we'll work with just some regular, good old fashioned division problems. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, all right, here we go. Now, the interim test had a lot of problems on it of all kinds of different skills, math type of skills. And it's okay if you didn't know how to do all of them. Or maybe you had done something kind of similar to that in third grade, but you really didn't remember. That's all right. At the end of the year, or sometime in the spring at least, you're going to take this test again. And what it will show is growth so that after a year of fourth grade, you're able to do better at the end of the year than you did at the beginning. So we'll go through a couple different problems. All right, we'll skip the sample. Okay, there we go. So for number 1, choose which fraction is the same as 1/6. So you had a couple different options of what you could do. You could come and look at the choices that they gave you. And I think that would probably be one of the easiest ways. And then you could just kind of see which one would be equivalent. And I'm going to test it out. I'm going to test out 2/12. So I'm going to draw, well, actually, take a picture of this. Woo! There we go. Oh, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. My sketch has been working well all morning, and then all of a sudden, there we go. All right. There we go. A fraction that is the same as 1/6. So if I come in here and I divide these boxes up again, I just made 12 different little boxes. You can count them if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I can see that right away 2 out of 12 is colored in. So my equivalent fraction would be 2/12. Pretty simple. All right. Oh, number 2, I want you to do this one with me because it's division, and this is kind of what you're working on right now in Little Lincoln. So go ahead and write down the problem. 5,475 divided by 4. And we'll work it out here in just a minute. Right. I'm going to change my color to black. I really like my colors. I get kind of excited about that.
What is it?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you might not remember. I'm writing it down again. 5,475 divided by 4. And remember, sometimes it's good when you're doing long division to write your steps down again. So does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers as your reminder? Okay, give me a thumbs up if you at least have the problem written down and we can walk through it. Okay, we have it written down. Perfect. Okay, so my first step is to divide. Will, how many groups of 4 fit into 5?
1.
1. Perfect. Second step is to multiply. So 1 times 4 is 4. Third step is to subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Now, my step that a lot of people skip, but it is really important, is to check. And to check to make sure that this number is lower or smaller than my divisor. And it is. So I'm able to bring down. So Tyler, how many groups, because now I'm back to step 1, divide. How many groups of 4 fit into 14?
Um, Here, just hang on. Only 3.
Yeah, 3. My second step, Tyler, is to multiply. So, Tyler, what's 3 times 4?
3 times 4 is 12.
Perfect. My next step is to subtract. So, what's 14 minus 12?
2.
2. And then I need to check, is 2 smaller than 4, Tyler?
Yes.
It is. So now what do? I bring down. So now I will pick on Vero for a second. Vero, how many groups of 4 will fit into 27?
Hold on.
Just one?
Hold on.
Oh, okay. Just kind of go through it in your head. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16.
4 times
4 times 6.
8.
Well, 4 times 8 is 28. So that would be a little too big. I'm sorry. 4 times. 8 times 4 is 32. That would be
32.
too big.
So it's 7.
Well, that'd still be a little too big. 7 times 4 is 28. So that's a little too big.
6.
6.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll make that a 6. So, Vera, what is 6 times 4?
6 times 4 is 24.
Perfect. Then I'll subtract. And then I'll bring
I
down.
bring down the 5.
Good. So now I'll pick on somebody else. Jaden, we're back to divide. So how many groups of 4 will fit into 35, Jaden? Remember, we said 8 times 4 is 32. That's pretty close. Do you want to try an 8? Jaden, your microphone's on. You can say yes or no, or I'd like to try a 7 or a 9 or an 8.
I was muted myself.
Oh,
4 times 3. I just like to do it that way. 4 times 5 is 20.
yep. So that's still too small.
Then 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 20 is 32.
Perfect. So then,
I just like to do it that way.
oh, that's totally fine. But you came up with 8 basically. And 8 times 4 is 32. So let me just rewrite that. 35 minus 32. So Jaden, what's 35 minus 32?
3.
Perfect. So there's my answer. 1,368 remainder 3. So let's go find that. Oh, here it is. So there's your answer. All right, guys, moving on. Oh, this is something that maybe you haven't seen before. Which of the following decimals is equivalent to the fraction 40 hundredths? Well, I'm going to go and clear this page. Okay, so I have 40 hundredths. And I'll just give you a little hint. When I have two numbers like this that both end in 0, sometimes it's just easier if I get rid of those zeros. I can take one off the top and I could take one off the bottom, and then I'm working with a smaller number and it's even easier. So, Jaden, I'm really happy you're eating Skittles, but if it doesn't have to do with math, then and you're not counting your Skittles, then let's kind of keep that to ourselves. So now 4/10. You can write 4/10 just like it sounds. 0.4, 4/10. Now I could write 40 if I didn't take away the zeros and I still wanted to do the original problem. 40 hundredths is written like this. Are these two numbers the same? Yes, they are. These two numbers are the exact same quantity. you don't even really have to write this 0. So let's go find our answer. Oh, here it is. 0.4 or 4/10. Okay, so give me a thumbs up if you're with me so far. Is that pretty easy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I see a lot of movement, so I'm just making sure. All right. Oh, well, this is simple. Which number best represents 3 and 1/4 on the number line? So here's the number 3. Here's the number 4. And I need to figure out where 3 and 1/4 would be. So let me take a picture of that. Whoop. Okay, there's my picture. So obviously 3.5 is like right about here. That's 3.5. So 3 and 1/4, probably right there. 3 and 3/4 would be right there. So which letter, guys, would represent 3 and 1/4 the best?
M.
That's correct. Okay. Oh, well, now this isn't too bad, but it might be something that's new to you. 1/4 times 5. So we are multiplying fractions. Here we go. All right. My original problem is 1/4 times 5. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You can do the simple multiplication, which I'm about to show you, or you can come down here and add them all up. That's why they showed you the picture, so that you could add them as well. What's 1/4 plus 1/4?
1/8. Yeah.
Actually, it'd be 1/2.
What?
Yeah. Here, let me snap a picture.
I thought it would be 1/8 or 2/4.
Well, yeah, 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. So let me just show you a picture of adding these two up first. Let's just add this little pi to this one. So now what do I have? I have 1/2, right? 1/4 plus 1/4 is 1/2. Now let's add up these two pies. What's 1/4 plus 1/4? We just came up with that. It's 1/2. So now, guys, what's 1/2 plus 1/2?
A whole?
A whole. That's right. It's a whole. And then what's left over? 1/4. So we know that my answer
is 1 1/4.
Has to be. That's not one of my choices, though. So I'm going to have to show you something that I like to call magic circle time to change a mixed number. You're looking at a mixed number and change it into an improper fraction. So here's magic circle time. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 5/4 would be my answer. And that would be choice D. But let's do it the other way. Let's actually do the multiplication problem, because that's not too hard either. And you need to see both ways. Okay, 1/4 times 5. All right, this pen is stupid. If I write 5 over 1, it's the exact same thing as saying just 5. So now multiplication of fractions is pretty easy. Kendall, what's 1 times 5? 5. Your microphone, I don't know if it's on. You might have muted yourself, which is fine, but okay. And then denominators, what's 4 times 1?
4.
4. So there, I got the same exact answer as I got by adding up all of those little pieces. All right. Give me a thumbs up if that made sense to you. I feel like I'm going kind of fast. Okay. Alrighty. Go on to number 6. Ooh, number 6. Well, this is just a simple subtraction problem. It might not be something that you've seen, though, because I'm not sure how much exposure you've had to subtracting mixed numbers. But we have Samantha, and she's making cookies. She needs 2 2/3 cup of sugar. That's total. The recipe says to use 2 1/3 cup sugar in the cookie batter and then to save the rest of it to sprinkle on top later. So basically, it's a subtraction problem. How much is she going to use later and sprinkle on top? So 2 2/3 minus 2 1/3. So let me go and write that. When you're working with mixed numbers like this, worry about your whole numbers first. So Jaden, what is 2 minus 2?
That's 0.
That's 0. Good. So I'm not going to even write anything right here. Just going to mark them out. Jaden, what's 2/3 minus 1/3?
I've never really done the third stuff like
Okay, well
that.
don't worry about it. Keep your denominators the same. So I just moved my 3 over. Jaden, what's 2 minus 1?
That's 1.
Yeah. So 1/3. So 2/3 minus 1/3 is 1/3. Let me rewrite that. Now, if I worked backwards and I wasn't sure, maybe I was like, I don't know if that's correct. I can work backwards and check my work. What if I added 1/3 plus 1/3? Well, I would just add my numerators, and that's 2. Keep my denominator the same, 2/3. So I can tell that my answer was correct. Okay, so we'll go and find, it would have been answer D, 1/3. Here we go, division problem. I want everybody to write this down. 2,438 divided by 8. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to do this on your own. Make 2,438 underneath the house. When you have an answer, you can start typing it into the chat. Jaden, I think you need to try it again. Okay, got one answer. And Kendall, that is exactly correct. Okay, let's start walking through it. So remember your steps: divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. And Kendall, how many groups of eight? Well, nothing's going to fit into two. So we got to go, how many groups of eight fit into 24?
3.
Yep. Second step is to multiply. What is 3 times 8?
24.
Good. Subtract and check. 0 is smaller than 8, so we are good to go. Here is where it might be confusing for some people. I cannot fit any groups of 8 into a 3. So, Kendall, what do I have to do?
Put a 0.
I have to add a 0 up here in my answer or my quotient. So 0 times 8 is 0. Now I can bring down. Now I can actually do the problem. How many groups of 8 will fit into 38?
4.
4. Oops. And now my second step is to multiply. So what's 4 times 8?
32.
Good. Next step is to subtract. So what's 8 minus 2?
4.
Actually, it's 6.
6.
Yeah, 6. And then check. Is 6 smaller than 8? Yeah, it is. And we are done. 304, remainder 6. So let's go see. Here's my answer. B is my answer. All right. So Will, it says you were maybe a little confused. Is that better? Okay, now that you saw it. Okay, Jaden is saying colors. He likes the colors. Okay, fantastic. Well, I'll keep using them. Here we go. We have another division problem, basically. Marisol is making hamburgers for a soccer team. She will make 51 hamburgers. The buns come in packages of 8. How many packages of buns does she need to buy? So we're going to come over here. I'm going to clear this. 51 hamburgers, and we know that there's 8 buns in a pack. So now we're going to do a division problem and just kind of see what we get, and then how many packages we're going to need. So how many groups of 8 will fit into 51? Go ahead, Will.
8 into 51.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Okay.
6. He
Good.
just does this.
So, Will, what is 6 times 8?
51.
No. 6 times 8? Anybody? What's 6 times 8?
48.
48. Okay. Now I'll subtract. 11 minus 8, anybody?
3.
3. So 6 remainder 3. I know that 6 packages isn't going to be enough because I'm still going to have 3 hamburgers that don't have buns. So how many packages do I need? What do you
7.
think, Tyler? 7. Yes, I need 7 packages because these 3 hamburgers would be bunless and that would be sad. So here you go. So notice they give you this answer that we just came up with, but that's not what they're asking you. They're asking you how many packages she should buy. So you need to make sure you're answering the correct question. All right, back up to number 9. Oh, number 9's pretty easy. I'm going to write the pattern out for you. Let's use a different color. We'll make Jaden happy. Let's use orange. Orange is happy. Here's my pattern. I have a blank. Okay, so I need to figure out what it is that they're doing each time to move up, basically, because these numbers are all increasing. So, what would I do to a 3 to make it a 7?
You add 4.
Well, let's see if that works for everything. Okay, well, 3 plus 4 is 7. But is 7 plus 4 15?
No, 7 plus 8 is 15.
Ah, so what am I doing? I'm actually multiplying by 2 and then adding 1, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Let's see if that works from 7 to 15.
7
Will, what is
times
7
2.
times 2? Will is gone for a second. Okay. Vero, what is 7 times 2?
14.
Plus 1?
14.
15. Beautiful. So our pattern works. So we are multiplying by 2 and then adding 1. So what's 15? Sorry, 15 times 2?
Um,
30. That's right.
30.
And then what's 30 plus 1?
40.
31.
31, I mean.
So then if I wanted to keep going and check my work, I would do 31 times 2 plus 1. And that, I'm sorry, 31 times 2 plus 1. Yes, and that's 63. And then, and so on and so forth. So let's just see. Oh, C would be my answer, 31. All right, give me a thumbs up if you are with me so far. Okay. All right, Tyler, he's excited. He wants to do number 10. Jenny, she decorated some cupcakes. Drew decorated 5 fewer or 5 less. So which expression shows how many cupcakes Drew decorated? So I'm just going to go and make an equation. Here's Jenny. We don't know how many Jenny did, so I'm just going to call Jenny J. We know that Drew did 5 less. So that's a simple way to just say Jenny did however many Jenny did, and Drew did 5 less. Jenny could have done 100 cupcakes. Then how many would Drew have done?
95.
He would have done 95. Jenny could have done 15 cupcakes. Then how many would Drew have done?
10.
10. Yeah, perfect. So then here we are, J minus 5. All right. And last one for the interim review, and then we'll move on to just practicing a little more division, just to take it step by step. Okay, so right here, I'm actually gonna take a picture of this. Give me just a second so I can draw some pretty colors. Okay. All right. We'll use lime green. The two rays are perpendicular. What is the value of m? So perpendicular, basically what they're saying here is this is a nice 90-degree right angle. It's 90 degrees. Everything is fantastic. So we have 25 degrees right here, but then we don't know what the rest of it equals. So we have to do 90 minus 25 to figure it out. So what's 90 minus 25? You can write it down and then type it into the chat. So type in what the answer to 90 minus 25 is. Perfect. You got one answer. You're a little off, Kendall. That's good, Vero. Okay, so I'll just do the subtraction problem for you. I can't take 5 away from 0, so I'll come and borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 2 is 6. So M has to equal 65 degrees. Okay? So A would be your answer. Because if I added 65 and 25 up, that would be my 90-degree angle. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Okay. Well, what you've just worked with is a right angle. So you just keep that in your head forever, that a right angle, of course, this should be a nice straight line. It's not, is 90 degrees. Okay. All right, guys, we are going to switch gears for just a minute and just practice kind of what you're doing in Little Lincoln, which is division. So I have 84. I'm going to do the first one with you. Let me clear this and take a picture. I have 84 divided by 14. I'm going to rewrite this so that it looks a little bit more like what we're used to. So I have 84 underneath the house and 14 on the outside. Okay? All right. Looks like most of you have started working on it, so I'm going to let you do that for a minute. That's fine. There's no remainder, by the way. It does go in evenly. So you just have to keep trying a couple different numbers until you come up with one that works. And then type it into the chat. Nice, Vero. Very good, Tyler. That's right. It's fine, Will. It's kind of, that's why we're here. Just extra practice is really what it's coming down to. So, Vero, you said that the answer is 6. How did you figure out that 14 goes into 84 6 times?
Well, mainly on the Little Lincoln website, I learned it by guessing.
Yeah, so guess and check. So
Yeah.
Vero can check her work now because the next step would be to multiply, right? 6 times 14.
Mhm.
And she could come over here to the side if she wants, and she can do a little problem and just see what she gets. Or you can do what I'm going to do. Watch my pen really closely. Jaden, what's 6 times 4? That's right, Vero. But I'm asking Jaden, what's 6 times 4? Oh, this is a math fact, guys. It should be really quick. I don't know if your microphone's on, Jaden, because it's I can't hear you. Yes, that is correct. 6 times 4 is 24. So I'm going to do 6 times 4 is 24 and put the 2 on top of that 1. Now, what's 6 times 1, Jaden?
6
Good. Plus 2
plus 2. Um,
is 8.
that would be 8.
Yeah, that's right. See how I had that little remainder up there that I needed to add? And there you go. You are done. You don't have any remainders. The answer is 6. So let's type that in. Yay! Oh, this is quick. What's 10 divided by 10? Everyone, hold up your fingers.
1.
Yes. This is mental math. You should have that down, Pat. Oh, there it is again. 19 divided by 19. Hold up your fingers. 1. Good. Okay, now we have something to actually work with. 57 divided by 19. So go ahead and write this down. Put the 57 underneath the house, 19 on the outside. Give me a second and I'm going to Jaden, I think you need to probably check that answer because that's definitely a little off. All right. So here's one way of thinking about this. Maybe I have just no clue how many times 19 is going to go into 57 and I'm like, I don't even know what to try up here on top of the house. Why don't you do a little bit of estimating? Pretend this is a 20 because it almost is. And pretend this is a 60 because it almost is. And then I would say 20 times or 20 plus 20, that's 80. I'm sorry, God, that's 40. Plus another 20, that's 60. Ooh, so 20 plus 20 plus 20, that's pretty close. So why don't I try a 3? Okay. All right, so 3 times 9 is 27. Carry my 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. And I am done. The answer is 3. Okay. How many people got that one correct? Okay, good. All right, Jaden, what's 12 divided by 12? Hold up your fingers.
1.
Yeah. Okay, now we actually have something to work with again. 70 divided by 14. 70 divided by 14. Woo! Taking a picture of it. 70 divided by 14. Now remember what I said. Maybe 14 makes no sense to you. Maybe pretend it's a 10. How many times would 10 go into 70?
7.
It would, yeah, and so obviously that's a good guess. I could try 7. Do you want me to try 7 or do you want me to try something a little lower or probably a little lower because this isn't 10. So let me try maybe a 5. Good. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry my 2. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 70. Woo! We got it. All right, let's see if there's something just a little harder. All right, give me just a second to go down to division. Let's see. There we go. Little harder. 66,000. This will take you a little bit longer. 336 divided by 48. Give me a second. I'm going to snap a picture of it so that I can write my steps. Ah! Okay. So write your steps. Does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? Okay. I'm going to give you a minute to try to get at least part of it done on your own. Okay, so we got a couple answers coming into the chat. Hopefully, hopefully they're right. I actually cannot do this in my head, believe it or not. No. Ah, that is terrible. Well, you know what it is. That's a 6. All right, Jaden. How many groups of 48 fit into 66? Are you there, Jaden? Okay, I don't know if your microphone's on, so.
Yeah, I just had my microphone off.
Okay. So you told me in the chat that 1 is that how many times 48 fits into 66. So then my next step's to multiply. 1 times 48 is 48. My next step is to subtract. So I have 66 minus 48.
83.
Okay. You with me so far? Give me a thumbs up, guys, if you're with me, because I see a lot of people like looking around and all right, cool. So now I got to check. I got to make sure that 18 is smaller than 48. And it is, so I'm good to go. So now I can bring down. So now I have to say how many groups of 48 will fit into 183. Well, I can think of 48 as really close to 50. So 50 plus 50 is 100. That would be twice. Another 50 would be 150. I'm going to try 3. So 3 times 48 is what I'm working with. I can come over here and I could do a little problem if I need to. Or I could do it the way that I showed you, which is doing one number at a time. So 3 times 8 is 24. We'll carry our 2. And then 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. All right, so now I got to subtract. All right, so I'll come over here and I'll borrow. Will, what is 13 minus 4?
Hold on, let me do it.
Okay. That's right, Tyler.
9.
Good. And then 7 minus 4, we all know is 3. So now I need to check, is 39 smaller than 48? Yeah, it is. So I'm good to go. So now I will bring down another 3. Oh my goodness. So obviously we're going to do something much bigger than a 3 because now I'm fitting 48 into 393. So what do I want to try? Do I want to try like a 7, an 8? Go ahead and type into the chat what number you want me to try up here. Okay, I got somebody wants me to try, well, actually. You want me to try a 7, a 6, an 8? Will says 8. 8 times 8. What is that, Will? What's 8 times 8? Oh, you guys got to practice those multiplication facts.
48.
64. What is 8 times 4, Will? 32. What's 32 plus 6? Ah!
38.
Yes, you guys got to spend some time going over those multiplication facts. All right, my next step is to subtract. 13 minus 4. Anybody?
9.
Okay. Is 9 smaller than 48? Yes, it is. So I can go on with my life. All right. So now I am going to bring down my last number, which is the 6. How many groups of 48 fit into 96? So basically, how many groups of 50 fit in 100?
2.
Let's try it too. So what is 2 times 8? 16.
16.
Carry my 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And woo, I am done. So what is my final answer?
1,382.
1,382. All right. Okay. Oh, I might have typed it in. I guess I typed it in wrong. But we had the correct answer. All right, guys. So I am going to maybe leave you with this problem, and we can start with it next week. So I want you to write it down. I want you to solve it before we come to our next virtual classroom for math, that is. So I want you to write down 23,328 divided by 48. Make 23,328 underneath the house. I'm going to write it down too so that I remember that that's where we're going to start. One thing that I'll tell you too is that knowing those multiplication facts and division facts really helps when you're doing long division because, I mean, if you can not look at your chart all the time and just go a little bit quicker, you don't get mixed up in all your steps. Give me a thumbs up if you have the problem written down. Okay, that's where we will start next Thursday. For now, guys, it has been fun. I will see you next time. Yay! Wave goodbye. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.